Hey guys, it's Jack here, and today marks the end of the S-Class hoppers in Forza Motorsport. So we're going to be going over what the best car in that hopper was, and what cars you should be looking to use when the B-Class hoppers come out later tonight. So leave a sub and drop a like below, and let's get into today's video. So here it is, guys. This is the fastest car in the S-Class hoppers. Now, a lot of the pros and the fastest guys in the game will avoid this car for the reason it's just too good. It takes a lot of the challenge and enjoyment away. So to emphasize this, I'm not running any part upgrades or any tune on this car. This car is completely stock, and I'm still able to run competitive lap times with everyone in this lobby. I finished this race with the second fastest lap. I got hit off the track a couple times and had to regain some ground, but I was easily able to make several passes and make my way through the field without too much challenge over some of the more normal cars you see in the S-Class lobbies. So even with minimal tuning, the only real issue with this car is the fact that it has the slowest shifting and the longest gears you will find on any car. I'm barely getting to fourth gear on this track. So there's a lot of time you lose on the stock variation of this car when you're racing it if you don't upgrade that transmission. I recommend that being the first upgrade you do if you try this car. But what made this car so effective is it doesn't really have any weaknesses. It's already good in the corners. It's already fast on the straights. It has a good top end, and it's good in the corners. It's not dragged down by the high downforce. So it is a very, very good car at literally everything. So here I'm going to share the build I did use later for the footage in the video. This is what I ended up using. I made my own tune. It took me about 5 minutes just to come up with this build and the numbers. But if you would like to give it a go, feel free to copy what I have here on the screen. And another thing I want to get into, I always put my cars full front, no rear. If that's something that you struggle with the rear end sliding out, you can always add a little bit more. Now, one car that really was able to match up pretty well to the McLaren was the 911 GT1 Porsche. That car was also a very, very good choice for the hoppers. But we're going to get into this race here. We're going to start at the back, per usual, skipping qualifying in the McLaren F1. And we are able to make our way through the field pretty darn easily, and we have a massive pace gap. So this is only the third race I did with the car. I was still leveling it up, so I didn't even have all of the upgrade options unlocked. But even with the current state that the game is in and this car is at, this thing is by far the fastest thing in the lobby. Even with the rainy conditions, getting bumped out of the way, it feels like I'm driving a car in a separate class. And this car is as fast as a lot of the GT homologated hopper. This car will do virtually the same times as a lot of cars in there. So we're racing against those cars in this lobby, but they're slowed down to the S-Class, while this car is still the same speed as those GT cars would be without their handicap. So that gives it a massive advantage. You can see I'm just able to roll the outside so much better than a lot of these cars. He tries to pinch me off a little bit, but we're going to make it through A-okay. So we're just going to be making our way through just some highlights of just how much better this car really is. And the good news is Forza has actually updated the balance of performance in the cars in the touring car hoppers and the GT hoppers, which means the Golf and the Audi are no longer insanely overpowered, hopefully making the lobbies more competitive. Here's hoping that maybe some more balances can come towards the S-Class and some of the other hoppers, as there already is a couple cars in those hoppers that are clearly the fastest. In B-Class lobbies, they do have quite a bit of variety. In S-Class, it's pretty much just this McLaren F1 that is the top dog. You might see some variation on some of the really small tracks and some of the longer tracks, but all in all, there's not too many. So here we are, we're just making our way through. The 2 leaders fall off the track, and then halfway through lap 2, we're already in the lead. And by the end of the race, we built a healthy margin, just driving the cars around as slowly and smoothly as possible. We really didn't need to push. This thing is miles better than everything else on the track. So now, getting into the B-class hoppers and what to expect, you're going to see a lot of high-powered cars and a lot of good handling cars. There's going to be a very, very good mix between them. And what it looks like is there's going to be a clear favorite for most of the handling tracks. Now, you will see some cars pop up, like the Mazda MX-5s, maybe a Lotus. You're going to see cars like that pop up fairly commonly. But the cars that's going to take the biggest impact is going to be this one. It's going to be the 97 Honda Civic. This car is definitely going to be the fastest grip track, and anything with a straightaway, you're going to be probably seeing one of these blow by you at unprecedented speeds. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Please leave a sub, drop a like, and maybe even comment. I'll see you guys at the next one.